Hi, Matt. First of all, an update on Caleb's injury and why Dalen wasn't able to go. Jalen, anybody else maybe?
Boy, we have a long laundry list, to be quite honest with you right now. Yeah, we don't know a lot about Caleb right now. Certainly wasn't back in a position to get back into the game. I think we'll know a lot more tomorrow. Obviously, we're hoping it's not significant. I don't know that it is or is not right now, but hopefully from that standpoint, we've got a laundry list of guys coming out of camp that just had bumps, bruises, dinged up. I think a lot of those guys are Dalen, and a lot of those guys are day to day. Ben Bramer limited today. Our linebacking core limited today. And so we'll just kind of play it by ear, But I think probably what I'm most excited about is the amount of guys that stepped up and I thought played pretty good football. Now it's going to be interesting to watch the video and kind of be able to evaluate a lot of guys, but we played a lot of guys today on both sides of the ball. So I'm excited for that. We'll just have to take it one day at a time right now.
And I'm sorry, is Zima falling down?
He does, for sure he does, absolutely. Got dinged up this past week a little bit, but I think he'll definitely be a guy that's going to be available for next week. So it'll be good to kind of get some bodies back in that linebacker room for sure too. Yeah, it's just a weird game, honestly. I think some of that in terms of defensive football was just the amount of times that they were able to convert on third down on really both of those long drives. Credit to them. I think they got themselves into some good third and short situations and, put them into really manageable situations to have success, but we didn't get off the field. And, I until you watch the video, you can't say, man, what went well or what didn't go well. I thought what did go well was in the heat of the moment, when it came to the critical moment, we were able to win those battles when it mattered most. We definitely need to be better in third down defense. And, at times we got to be better on first down in the run game to kind of help that third down defense as well.
Would you miss not having Caleb, and then would you think about how people stepped up, filled in for him?
Yeah, like I said, I thought Jack Sadowski, Zach Lovett, both those guys who played a lot of football, both I thought stepped in. How well did they play? What's that look like? But I thought both those guys made some plays that were really positive. I thought John Klosterman stepped in, played great football for us at Sam linebacker, and John's a veteran football player and had the big hit that caused the Bo interception. So, I thought a lot of guys that it just shows, I think, a little bit of the depth of this team is, man, a lot of guys had to step in and play, and I thought played pretty good football for us.
Coach, can you take us through that first drive, obviously with the big pass to Jalen Noel right away, and then the second pass from Beck finding Higgins for that quick touchdown? Can you guys take us through what your plan was to open up the game like that?
Yeah, I just think the reality of it is trying to find the best matchups in the football game, and credit Rocco. I mean, those are two great throws, and obviously you got two great players to be able to make plays on those balls. But, I think those guys have really had a great fall camp together. There's great chemistry and, trying to put the ball in our playmakers' hands. I think when you look at this, and this was a team that was, I think one of the lessons we learned last year is sometimes people are going to put everybody in the box and try to stop the run game, and you gotta prove that you can throw the football, and you gotta try to attack. And I thought, we did some really good things in that realm today. I thought that was really impressive, really not only that drive, but really throughout most of the football game.
In that same vein, how do you evaluate Taylor's debut as a play caller?
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. Honestly, I thought there was great balance to what we wanted to do. I thought we drove the ball with great consistency. We're 5 of 10 on third down, and I really thought he had a great game. So, again, and we've talked about this, man, that whole collection of staff, I think that was one of the great benefits. There was great communication, throughout the game on that side, and I thought those guys even made some good adjustments within the game, so it was impressive.
You talked about how many linebackers you played, but it seemed like the offensive line played a lot of guys too. Is that a function of the injuries or just wanted to see guys?
Yeah, I think probably on that side a little bit more of, man, there's some tight races, and I think we needed to use today as an evaluation tool, and probably throughout the early part of the season of what is actually our best five guys playing, and we still got Dalen Hazer that didn't play yet and coming back from injury, and he's another guy that's certainly right in the thick of that, and obviously Jalen Travis is a guy that's coming back off injury, and he's in the thick of that. So I think that again I thought that offensive line played pretty good today, and I'll be anxious to watch it, but I think again tribute to it's nice to finally have some depth where when you got some injuries some guys step in, but it's also a group right now that I still think there's some undecided exactly who is the starter until we get through the early part of the football season.
What are your thoughts on how you guys ran the ball?
Yeah, I thought really good. I mean, we didn't run it very much because we didn't have to. I mean, the reality of it is, when we ran it, I thought there was elite efficiency. Averaged almost, 5 yards a carry, and I thought we did a really good job in the running game. And when we needed to run the ball early or throughout the game, I thought we did a really good job.
Coach, what do you take away from Eli Green, his first game as a Cyclone?
Well, the first thing you better do is you better tuck that ball a little bit better, or you're not going to get the ball much more. But, I thought he'd made some really nice plays. Got to have great ball security, and I don't feel like he had great ball security today, but it's nice to see him make some great plays. Eli's a great player. We're really excited about him. But, again, there's a standard in how we protect the football, and we got to be better.
Hey, Coach, I know you worked months and months and months for this game. Overall, how would you say you guys played? I mean, you happy with what happened out there today?
Well, I think you look at the stat sheet and you're like, man, you're pretty solid of what just occurred. I thought we played really good football. There's some things in the first game you want to clean up. We want to be a little bit better on third down on the defensive side of the football. We had a couple penalties in the red zone that maybe prohibited a chance to score. But, man, I thought all in all, with the amount of things that kind of were against us a little bit today with some of the injuries, I thought some kids stepped up and played really good football. So to get a win and, you watch North Dakota State, play, on Thursday night, and that's a team that just beat North Dakota State 49-14 last year. So, I think a really good football team and a team I got a lot of respect for, a really physical football team. So, yeah, I thought, all in all, win number one and on to game number two for sure.
You were asked about the first drive, but I wanted to ask, was that almost a script? You're going to go to Jalen probably unless the disaster strikes, and B, there's a photo out there of both guys. How in the world they came down with that ball?
Yeah.
What was your perspective on that?
Well, I think that's where Rocco is trusting his teammate. Now, I think if we really look at that photo, there might be Jaden Higgins coming underneath that might have been open and maybe a tailback that might have been open. But we'll evaluate that photo in the video and see if it was the right call. But, Jalen, no, I know I've said this. I don't know if I can talk more about a human, what he has stood for in this program. In my opinion, he has, from year one to year four, been one of the most complete football players we've had in our program during my time here. And he's got elite competitive excellence. I think you saw last year it switched from, being a really good player to being a great player. And today he looked like an elite player, one of the best players in the country at his position. And we're really fortunate to have him. And I don't think Jaden's far off. I thought he had a really good day as well. So, and again, tip your hat to Rocco. I thought Rocco had a really good football game and played really efficient football today. So really proud of him as well.
What do you think were kind of like the keys to the game going into it?
Yeah, I think for us it doesn't really change. We want to take care of the football, number one. Want to play really good on special teams, and we want to be really great in situational football. And, I think 1 and 2 we did a great job of. I think situational football, those are things like coming out. Those are things like third down. Those are things like red zone. You probably won more than you lost today, but as dominant as we want to be, we probably weren't exactly where we need to be, and yet I don't expect to be either. It's week one, and great opportunity to grow. I think our greatest growth, I've always felt this way, is between week 1 and week 2, and we'll watch the video and we'll grow forward. But let's remind everybody they scored 3 points on against us, and we kind of called off the dogs there in the fourth quarter and trying to run up the score. So. I think the reality of it is there was a lot of real positive from this football team today.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Kennard Snyder? Obviously, the transfer got his first sack today. Can you kind of talk about what he's done throughout camp to reach what he did today and get his first sack?
Yeah, boy, I'm really excited about Kennard. I feel like, and he was in the backfield a couple other times to make a couple plays. You could tell it was almost first game jitters for him a little bit, and but it was great for him to get his first sack. I thought, what he's got is he's got great ability to come every day with purpose. You see, he's got great tools. He's got great twitch. He's got great takeoff. And he's really got a great ability to win the one-on-one pass rush. So, I think from my end, I'm really, really high on what Kennard's got the ability to continue to grow into in this defense, because he gives us some things maybe we were missing a year ago, and, the ability to win the one-on-one pass rush with high efficiency, and I think he's got the ability to do that.
I saw you put out a guy like Jace Gilbert out there to punt instead of Perkins. With him being the kicker 2 years ago, what has it been like for him to try to kind of transition from being the main kicker to now being a punter?
Boy, I think one of the great stories for me at some point will be able to tell the Jace Gilbert story. You know, I mean, again, we don't give up on people in our program. And, you know, Jace really kind of has come out and has earned the right to be the punter and kickoff guy and, you know, rotated there as well today. And, I mean, what that young man has done and obviously what he overcome was hard as a freshman. And he, you know, was excellent. I mean, that play that Darian Porter makes, I mean, we should also talk about his performance because it was elite today. But the play he makes and obviously the pooch punting and the ability to short field punt for us, I think Jace has got a chance to be a real game changer in a lot of ways for us and really proud of him. So he's a guy that if you remember, he played quarterback, he played safety, he punted, he kicked, he did it all. And he's really found a niche on the way to help our football team be successful. And I think only grow forward for us.
Jontez Williams had 11 tackles today. You praised him a ton throughout the offseason. What did you kind of see from him in the debut?
Man, and almost had a pick six. You know what I mean? He's like ticked. But, yeah, again, Jontez, consistency, work ethic since January. If you asked every part of the department that affects our kids, from academics to nutrition to strength and conditioning, winter conditioning, to practice to what you saw on Saturday, he is an elite performer. And I think the consistency that he comes to work every single day, it allows him to have great confidence, and I feel like that's how he played today. So, yeah, I'm really proud of Jontez. I thought he had a great game, and I think he'll only continue to improve because I think you got to remember he's still young in terms of playing, you know, and you got two other guys that have played a lot of football around him with Miles and certainly Darian. But, yeah, Jontez is a great player, and I think he's only going to continue to get better.